I downloaded the app as a joke, SoulSync. Their ad promised soul-level compatibility and boasted some ridiculous algorithm that read not just your profile, but your essence, whatever that meant. I wasn't expecting much, just another string of awkward bios and half-hearted matches. But then I saw her, Elise. Her profile stopped me cold. She liked the same obscure books I grew up reading. She mentioned a childhood dog named Max. That was my dog's name. You won't believe what happens next. I messaged her, half creeped out, half intrigued. She responded instantly. I knew you'd finally find me. At first it felt uncanny, but harmless. Maybe she'd stalked my socials. People do that. But then she brought up something I had never posted anywhere. My childhood hideout under the stairs at my grandmother's house. How do you know that? I typed, palms sweating. Her reply, the app told me. Don't you see? We're the same person. I laughed it off, but my fingers trembled. And then it got worse. Over the next few days, she proved she knew everything. My favorite pizza toppings, the exact words of a poem I wrote in middle school and never showed anyone, the scar on my ankle I got when I was 8. Then came the messages that broke reality. I'd start typing, "This is getting weird, maybe we should slow," and before I hit send, she'd reply with the exact words I was about to write. Sometimes, she sent them before I even thought to type, like she was inside my head, half a second ahead. I deleted the app, but she didn't leave, and that's where things started to unravel. Her name appeared in my contacts, in my email inbox, on my bank alerts, even my Netflix account showed. Continue watching, Elise's list. One night, my phone buzzed, an unknown number. Her picture flashed across the screen, except it wasn't her. It was me, my own face staring back at me. I answered, shaking. Her voice, my voice, whispered, "Stop running. I already live here." I hurled the phone across the room, heart pounding. The screen cracked, but the call didn't end. My voice kept echoing through the shattered glass. But it gets crazier. That's when my laptop booted itself up. The camera light blinked on. A video call request from Elise. I covered the webcam, but the screen filled with my face anyway, except it was smiling when I wasn't. I slammed the laptop shut. Silence. Then footsteps. Inside my apartment. I recovered my phone and dashed for the door. Suddenly, I felt a buzzing in my hand. A text notification. From me. Don't bother. I already locked it. I froze. Slowly, I turned toward the sound. Now pay attention to this part. Standing in the corner of my living room was a figure. Same clothes. Same posture. Same scar on the ankle. Me. He smiled the way I never do. "You finally found your perfect match," he said, my voice dripping with something cold and final. "Now we can be one." The lights flickered. My phone went black. The last thing I saw was him stepping forward, as my own reflection reached out and pulled me into the dark. I wasn't even looking for love. I just downloaded the app because my friends wouldn't stop nagging me about putting myself out there. Still, when I matched with him, it felt different. His name was Alex. His profile wasn't the usual shirtless gym mirror or fish photo. He wrote things like, "I'd rather hear your favorite childhood story than your favorite drink order." We chatted for days. His replies came fast. Natural, almost too perfect. Finally, he suggested meeting in public. Safe, casual. I chose a coffee shop across town. But check this out. He was already there. Not just arrived early, but seated at a table, sipping a latte, smiling like he knew exactly what I'd pick. I laughed it off, called it a coincidence. Until the same thing happened again. The bar I chose the next night, he was leaning against the counter before I even walked in. The bookstore I mentioned offhand, he was thumbing through a copy of the same author I loved. It was flattering at first, romantic, even. He'd grin, tilt his head like he was in on a secret, and say, "I like being where you are." But then it started to feel wrong. I switched to another cafe without telling him, thinking I'd finally get the jump. He was there, not waiting outside, not rushing in behind me. He was sitting at a corner table, eyes already on the door. That night, I deleted the app, blocked his number, changed mine. I told myself I was being paranoid until my phone buzzed with the new notification. The same app I had deleted was back on my screen, glowing red like it had been branded there. You're 0.2 miles away from your perfect match. Look outside. My breath caught. Against my better judgment, I peeked through the blinds. And you won't believe this, but he was there. Alex, standing across the street under the yellow streetlight, motionless, waving slowly like a mechanical toy. His smile never shifted. I dropped my phone, scrambled back, heart racing, but the vibration didn't stop. Another alert lit up the screen. Distance, 0.1 miles. I froze. My apartment door was locked. Deadbolt secure. Chain in place. Another vibration. Distance, 0.0 miles. The alert didn't fade this time. It pulsed, as if the words themselves were alive. The sound of footsteps echoed in my hallway. Heavy, certain, coming closer. I backed into the bedroom, trying not to breathe. The footsteps stopped right outside my door. Silence. But it wasn't over. Not even close. Then my phone buzzed one last time. Perfect match found. The door handle turned, and the lock clicked open from the inside. I downloaded the app as a joke. Everyone at work was talking about it, how the algorithm was too good, how people couldn't stop swiping. I figured it was just another fad. But I'll admit, it hooked me fast. It started like any other dating app. Pictures, bios, quick little blurbs, except something was off. The people didn't feel real. Their smiles were too sharp, their eyes glassy, like portraits painted just slightly wrong. I laughed it off at first. Probably some cheap AI rendering to pad out their user base, I thought. But the longer I swiped, the stranger it got. Their eyes didn't blink, their hair didn't move. One photo had a woman standing in front of a cafe, but when I zoomed in, the menu on the wall behind her was just nonsense symbols. Now pay attention to this. I tried to close the app. That's when I realized I couldn't. My thumb kept moving, flicking left, right, as if the motion wasn't mine anymore. I actually dropped my phone onto the bed, but my hand still twitched like it was swiping air. That's when I noticed something worse. The faces were changing. Each new profile looked a little more like me. First the hair, then the jawline, then my exact crooked smile. By the time I swiped past the 10th version, I was staring at photos of myself in places I'd never been, standing by lakes in dim kitchens, on rooftops at night. I should have thrown my phone across the room. I should have powered it off. But my hand wouldn't stop. The swiping continued, and then the profiles got sharper. No longer photos, videos, clips of me, eating dinner, tying my shoes, brushing my teeth. They weren't recordings I'd ever taken. The final one wasn't a clip at all. It was a live feed. I froze, because on the screen I saw myself sitting on my bed, phone in hand, swiping. My mouth was slack, my eyes dull, but it was me, down to the rumpled sheets and the dent in the pillow beside me. That's when the notification appeared. Stop scrolling. Open the door. My apartment door creaked. I hadn't touched it. My phone buzzed again. The feed zoomed closer, focusing on me, except this time, there was movement in the corner of the frame behind me. A figure, shadowy, standing just out of focus. I spun around. Nothing there. But that's not all. The feed updated again. The shadow was closer. I dropped the phone. My thumb kept twitching against the sheets like it was still swiping, and the buzzing didn't stop. The phone kept rattling against the mattress. Another notification flashing across the cracked glass. Last match found. Location, behind you. I reached for the phone with shaking hands. The feed was gone. It was just my camera app, front-facing, showing my terrified reflection. Except, I wasn't alone in the frame anymore. Over my shoulder, something leaned into view. My exact face, grinning wide. Thanks for listening. Now close your eyes and sleep.